Black history as in just Black American history, or do they go on to be like before that?
So I cover all of that. So on some of my resources are completely free, like book lists. Most of them are free on my website. So on my website, I have a whole list of books that study African kingdoms and all that was happening primarily in West Africa, Sangay, Mali, and other African kingdoms, and we go all into all of that. This particular African study here is for younger children, and it's about modern day Africa. So hoping that young children understand the truth about what it's really like there, and they hear it from the stories of other children. So it's books, fiction books primarily, a couple of chapter books, and videos. And they visit 25 different countries across the continent, and they get to see how people dress, how they eat, and mostly how similar they are to them. They have families, they like to have fun, and sometimes they have hard stories too, just like we do here. So those are outside of those studies, and most of it is dealing with African American culture and some Caribbean, Black Caribbean culture, and history. So that's kind of what I do. All of my days in Africa. Each week they're going to be introduced to a different country in Africa. And there's also a mapping exercise. So you can purchase a mapping book, or I link to free blank maps, and your kid's going to learn, and by the end, my little ones could fill out the entire continent of Africa when we got done.
Wow.
Yeah, it was amazing. So they learned to do that before they learned to fill out the states of the United States.
So the same two pieces can connect pretty much however they want, depending on what the builder wants to create. The other piece is the bridge. It has these grooves on either side. They're just going to fit on the side or underneath. And then if you have two similar shapes, you can connect them, and then we end up with a structure that can support itself that's three-dimensional.
Wow.
So basically, one Wednesday a month, you're going to drop off your homeschooler, and it's, I think, drop off is around 10 in the morning or so, and you're going to pick them up around 1 or 2, and during that time, we're going to do what we call zoo exploration. So you'll take your kid out on a guided tour of the zoo, and then they'll get to do an activity, and then they're going to have an animal encounter.
So is it
And basically that means you bring out one of our specially trained dogs.
I think it's 100%.
And we talk about who the animal is, what they do, what they eat, where they live. And there's an overall theme. So for the kindergartner, it's going to be meeting basic needs. So how the animal finds shelter, food, water, habitat.
Way to cover science.
It really is an amazing way to cover science. So it's a great program, especially for kids into science and animals.
My kids.
And so it's just one Wednesday a month, and we get to hang out with similarly aged friends, and kids love it. Kids absolutely.
I bet they do. And how much
So are you guys new members? Okay, so for non-members, it's $120 per semester, or $30 for a session.
That's not bad.
And how long is a semester?
A semester is 4 months.
4 months. Oh, okay.
So when do you guys start up this month?
I think we're
September 14th.
Yeah, September 14th.
That's my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday!
September 14th.
We are an award-winning research-based curriculum.
Okay.
It was developed by Dr. Joan Potter, who was an engineer and so understood how math works in the real world. She also was a Montessori school teacher. If you know anything about Montessori education, that's all the manipulatives. She worked as a special needs teacher and developed this specially designed abacus as a result of her working with those children. And she had a dyslexic child herself. She was also, she survived being a middle school teacher, and and saw a lot of the holes in their math knowledge. Had to bring them back to, like, I think, 3rd grade level to catch them up. And then she got her PhD in math education and specialized in brain research. So this is 50 years worth of her work and research. And it is, so we want children to, what is our mission? I'm testing my son here.
We want children to understand, apply, and enjoy.
All right.
Okay, check. Okay, so as I was saying, this abacus was specially designed, right? I'm going to put you to the test here. Without counting, either one of you, how many blocks would you say are there?
8.
All right. How about if I did it this way?
8 either.
Okay, you can see it because it's grouped by 5, right? So we're this is called subitizing, when you can instantly recognize a quantity, and that's what we're going to start with our kids at the beginning level. Is we say, all right, show me 5 with your hand. They're not going to count 5. They're just going to, right? Because research shows that even babies can recognize up to 3 objects without having, to distinguish each one. So, and then we say, okay, can you enter 5? And since they know it's color coded, they enter 5. Right? Show me 7, and then enter 7, right? And then we eventually show them how to write the numeral. This is the numeral that goes with this quantity, right? Then we can add, subtract, multiply, and divide on this abacus. So, for example, if I have 7 and 6, can you tell quickly? You can see the 10 and the 3, 13. All right? We also do what's called transparent number naming. That's what they do in Asian countries, and that's why they're so good at math, right? So if there's 10 beads on each row, what would we say this number is?
30.
30. We're going to say it's 310. Okay? Because if you think about it, we say 300, 3,000, 3 million. Why not 3 cents? There's a pattern there. And what we're teaching children are visual patterns and patterns like that. So it makes sense. And then we eventually transition into the traditional names. So then this would be 310, 3, 310, 5. And so and it helps with the place value.
And what age, what grade level is
So we start at kindergarten, sometimes preschoolers, if they're motivated and ready. We go up through middle school. Okay. So then we have place value. When we learn place value, we learn ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. But then we're asked to read and write it the opposite way. So with Right Start, we're going to go all the same way. And so this would be 3,700, 810, 8. You say, what's the value of that 7? If they forget, they just unpeel the layers and see, right?
I like that.
The other cool thing is our fraction chart. Rather than the pie charts that we grow up with, right? That can be very confusing, especially when you get more than one going. We have a linear chart that we use, so you can compare fractions more easily. They come in the pieces too, so that you can build and you can actually see the difference. And if you're comparing, what fractions are equivalent to a half, okay, well we have 2 4s, 3 6, even 3 1/2 7ths. That's logical. So this is an amazing thing. It really helped me. I relearned math teaching my boys. To do mental math, and it's very good for children who need to move and they're visual. And it actually covers all of them, visual, auditory, all of it.
And I see you have some play money here and
Yes, ma'am. Tangrams. We use this for when we're talking about geometric shapes, but also area and perimeter. So this is our beginning level, okay? Just to show you how user-friendly a lesson is. We give you your objectives, what you're learning, the materials that you'll need to get out. It's very scripted, so it gives you the questions to ask. We're not just simply feeding information saying, here's the problem, here's how to do it, now go do a worksheet. We're asking questions to get children to come up with what the algorithm is. They're discovering that on their own as much as possible. They are seeing the patterns, and then almost every lesson has a game associated with it. So 15 minutes of a math card game is equivalent to a worksheet. Okay.
You can start at preschool for 3s.
Okay.
So you can start even earlier, and then as we go along, then we move into the preschool. So these are going to be really kind of starting with those first steps. So these are going to be eye-hand coordination for drawing lines, shapes, colors, number, letter recognition, things like that. Okay. Nice thing with Horizons is that it does set up your lesson plan for you. You can follow along. Today we're doing this. Here are some alternate activities that you can do as well. Here are some things that you could use along with it to, manipulate some things that would be helpful. They're not things you have to do, but they are things that you can do. Okay. This is a very nice set. You can do just the books. We also have a multimedia set that goes along with it. So you'll see inside the book that it'll say, play this CD, this area. If you don't want to have those, you don't have to have the CDs and all the things that go with it. You can just do them.
And are they all sold together or separate? Or?
You can do any of the above. So you can buy as individual as I just want this book.
Okay.
Or you can buy the full set. Preschool one, you can buy each individual book, teacher's guides, all those things separately if you wanted to. The multimedia, you can buy it as a set by itself. You can buy it with the full set together. You can also just buy the CDs if you just want the CDs. That's one of the nice things with all of our curriculums. If you want to get down to the nitty-gritty and just what you need, you can absolutely do it. If it's not in your budget to do a full curriculum, I can't afford to do that right now. You can go, okay, well, we're going to start with, Horizons Math Book 1. That way I know that I can teach or do the teacher's guide in this. This is enough to get me going for a while. And then you can budget out so you can do the other stuff later. Of course, I always say whenever you have a chance to hit a sale, please do that because you got to save you a little extra. August is a good month to buy stuff.
All right. And this is Christian-based? Or?
Yes. All of our curriculums are Christian-based, so you're going to notice that through all of the curriculum. Now, Horizons is a little bit different because it's going to be teacher-led, and it has a spiral platform. So they're going to be learning something, and then they'll do some practice. Then they're going to move on and learn some other things. And then you'll see it pop back up. After about a week or so, they'll have some more practice with it. It'll be reintroduced. Then they'll have another little bit of gap, and then it'll be reintroduced. So that there's never the, okay, I think I kind of know what I'm doing, and then later, way at the end when they test, oops, I don't remember this. Because they're going to keep moving back and forth with it. So we call that spiral learning. So just think where they're kind of circling back and around the whole time, right? You do really need to have the teacher's guides for these ones because you're going to be actually teaching the lesson from there. The workbooks are exactly that. They're going to be workbooks, not much for instruction for them. If you just went here, that's not going to work so great for you. It is a little bit more segmented on what we do. So language skills, we do have stuff that's in the preschool, but then when we go into the actual grade levels, we do stop with language at 3rd grade after that. So when you go to 4th, you're going to have to swap something different. Math you can do all the way to 8th grade. It's really good math curriculum. It's very brightly colored. Lots of different forms and things that you can see. So they're going to be able to do a lot of practice. And then
colorful, so
super colorful. Yeah, so it keeps their attention. You can draw them back to the eye. It's not one of those, well, which clock am I on? Is it number 2, number 5? Well, let's do the green one. So that makes life a little bit easier for you too. It does stop, like I said, at 8th grade, so you go all the way to Algebra 1. The only complaint I ever hear on that math is that we don't go past Algebra 1. Other than that, everybody loves this math. Like, even if they don't like anything else, this product they love. Okay.
So this is from like Pre-K to 8th grade?
Well, for the math to 8th grade, the language skills through 3rd, and then we do also offer internship here, and this will go through 6th grade. So this will take them from manuscript all the way up into very, very fine print cursive.
Okay.
So not like big bulky, like the stuff that your dad does that you can't afford. And then of course we do also have Life Pack. Okay, Life Pack is going to be a full curriculum. Kindergarten is usually when they the language and math skills for pretty much every curriculum, period. Because that's the big stuff. You got to get that first. Okay? So once you move away from kindergarten, there's going to be 5 subjects. So we're going to cover history, language, math, science, and Bible. We have a 5-subject set that'll cover all of those. We also have a 4 set that will not contain the Bible, because our families that have their own religious beliefs, it is King James Version for this curriculum here. So if that's something that you guys like, definitely a good way to go. We do not have anything that is going to be non-religious at all.
Okay.
All of our curriculums are 100% that way. We do have a sister company that's called Calvert, which is actually roots that way. That is, we have very similar curriculum writers, but theirs is going to be secular. So that would be a great place to stop as well for some more information from them, okay? But all of this is going to go all the way through the line. You can, like I said, if you don't want to do the Bible, we have a 4 set, which is just going to be the other 4 subjects.
Okay.
But just like with that one where you can buy, I just want one book, I just want one book. You can buy 1 unit at a time. They're full price, like $8 a piece, basically. So you can make and fit your budget if you wanted to. You're looking at $99.95 retail. Of course, when we have sales, it's always applicable to all of these kits and individual subjects and books and stuff. Same thing though, if you just want a teacher's guide, you can do that. If you've got 2 kids, say they're both doing the same grade level. You've got 2 first graders. I don't want an extra teacher's guide. I don't need that. You can do where you buy the full set for that subject and then just buy a 10 set of the worksheet books, because there will be 10 of these in each subject. So they'll go through and they'll do each unit by unit as they progress through. So your kiddos can follow their calendar, see what they have to do every day. If they're behind, you can tell. It does shoot parents emails if they get more than 5 lessons behind, so you're never left unawares that they fell behind. If they fell below threshold, say, I don't want to see anything less than a beat from you. That's what I want as a parent. I can set it up so the system will email me anytime they get a score lower than that. They can also modify however they want that grading scale to look. You can modify your weighting, which is kind of nice. So if you have a student that's a bad tester, for example, well, that doesn't mean that they're a bad student. Should they get an awful grade because testing's not their forte? I don't think so. You can kind of modify that. So normally it's 50% of their grade, but you can go in, and as long as those 4 items add up to 100%, the system will auto-correct for that, and it'll create your actual report card for you at the end of the year.
Okay.
It also grades 85% of it for you. So it takes off some of the workload, especially with like working parents and folks that are busy. Super helpful because it does do that for you. You're only going to have that 15% things that are kind of, you have to write a sentence or a paragraph, something that's up to interpretation. You grade as a parent. But you also have that ability, say, one of my sons, because it's also based off King James Version, right? Instead of writing neighbor with the O-U-R, he wrote it with the more modern O-R, and they gave it to him wrong. I know that that's correct. As a parent, I can look in there and see, like, okay, he knew what the right thing was, he just didn't use the King James Version of the spelling for it. I can correct that for him and give him that point for it so he doesn't actually miss it, because he actually did know what he was doing. You can also clear assignments, so instead of having to erase like you do with all of your other curriculums when they mess up, boop, clear. Start it again.
The homeschool version, is never going to be accredited because it's homeschool. But if you decide to use our academy, it is accredited. Our school is K-12. K-2 will be in print, as you can see here. Each one of the grades that we have English, math, science, and social studies. And the print version always comes with a teacher's edition for you to be able to use. That's if you're using the homeschool version. The private school version, everything is online starting at grade 3.
Okay.
And we have over 150 courses, electives, foreign languages, anything that you could look for. We have those. You can go online and do a free trial. All of that curriculum will be online.
Okay.
Okay, and that's how it is per month, or you can just pick electives, however you want to do it. Okay, and also you can do a free 30-day trial. We won't ask for any information, just go online and do that, so that you can look at the curriculum and play with it a little bit to see if it's something you're interested in. All right,
Thank you so much.
you are more than welcome.
So we have the Pre-K video program. We have graphic design and coding classes for kids online. They are, we have our visual game coding classes where kids can learn how to make their own games. So we have like cat pong, or they can learn how to create their own donut dodge game. They can choose to code a virtual pet. And we also have storytelling and animation classes where kids can learn how to write their own story and animate the characters in it. And
What grade level do you start at?
so typically the classes start at about 8 years old and go up to 18.
Okay.
So it's timeline style history. So you're going to get your U.S., your world, your geography, your biblical history all together. It's integrated as it happened in history. So nothing is segregated. You're not just going to do world history. You're not just going to do U.S. history. You're going to learn it side by side as it's unfolding. It is family style learning, so it will incorporate all grade levels. So you use one textbook, and then you have grade appropriate workbooks. So it's more economical that way. And then it is a 4-year cycle. It's meant to be cycled through all the way through high school.
Okay.
In our family guides, it does show you how to break out or assign credits for your high schoolers. And it is history, geography, and literature. We recommend for the literature to do 1 to 2 literature pieces per 6-week unit of the curriculum. And in the family guide, you have your literature lists all broken out by grade level. Like this is K through 2nd. And then if you keep flipping, you'll have your 8th through 12th grade readers, and it gives you a description, if it's available on audiobook, how many pages are in it, what the grade range is. We also have a movie list for each unit, which I love to incorporate movies. My kids love it.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty extensive list. You can find most of them like on Prime or Hulu. We also offer other additional resources like in the lesson plan here. Let me show you, because this is important. We've done the legwork. So these top 2 rows are the Biblioplan textbooks that we offer, one for elementary, one for high school here, and middle school. Everything right here is supplemental. So they've done the legwork to incorporate other curriculums like Story of the World or the Usborne Encyclopedia. She's done the legwork to tell you what lines up with what you're learning about here.
Okay.
If you want to pull from other resources. It's not required, it's optional, but it's there for you should you need it. So, and then here it shows you which maps to do, which questions to answer in your workbook.
And this is the teacher's guide?
This is the teacher and family guide. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So, and it's got your book lists at the beginning of the year. You can kind of pick and choose which ones you want. So this is for Unit 1, and then you go to Unit 2.
And you said this is a history, English, and
history, geography, and literature.
And literature, yes.
Yep.
Alright guys, so with that, this video is brought to an end. I hope that you guys truly enjoyed these videos that I put forth for you guys. As I said before, I didn't want to edit too much out because I wanted to make sure that you guys had enough information to make an informed decision as to whether or not any one of these homeschool curriculums will work well for your family. If you enjoyed it, I would appreciate you guys giving it a big thumbs up and definitely share it so that way I can help more people that are in need of homeschool resources, tips, advice. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to this channel because I do offer more information just like this, as well as behind the scenes as to what it looks like as a homeschool family. Okay, so if you're interested in any of those things, I would love if you guys follow us, and that will give us even more motivation and encouragement to create more content just like this. Until next time, I'll see you again real soon. Mwah! Bye.